Hello, and welcome to this Vivado Quick Take video, where we will be discussing how to simulate using Mentor Questa Sim from the Vivado Integrated Design Environment. Today, you will learn how to set up the tools and invoke Questa Sim from within the Vivado GUI. We will start with a quick introduction to the concept of compiling simulation libraries and why you might want to do this. We will then look to see how you go about setting up the project with correct simulation settings in Xilinx Vivado Design Suite. Once we have finished setting up the simulation, we will look at how to launch Questa Simulator from Vivado. Before beginning simulation, you must compile Xilinx-delivered HDL-based simulation libraries for the target simulator. You must recompile the libraries if you move to a new version of Vivado or a new version of the simulators. You can simply click on the Tool menu in Vivado GUI and select Compile Simulation Libraries. The tickle command used to compile simulation libraries is called compile symlib. If you want to know more about the command and its usage, please refer to UG835 Tickle Command Reference Guide. Let's take a look now at how we go about setting up the tool and compiling simulation libraries. We will first go to Tools in the Vivado menu, select Options, and then set the Questa Sim install path. Now we need to change the simulator selection to Questa Sim, and as you can see, the simulator executable path is automatically populated. We also need to confirm that the output directory location for the compile library is set. For this demo, I choose C Questa lib. Once you press compile in the dialog box, Vivado will start compiling the simulation libraries. Now we need to make sure that there are no errors reported from the library compilation run. All errors should be resolved before proceeding to the next step. Now that we have completed Xilinx HDL library compilation, the next step is to ensure that we have the correct simulation settings in place. Let's review the key simulation settings you need to be aware of before running a simulation. The simulator language option is a key simulation setting since it will alter the simulation output products for Xilinx IP. The recommended setting for optimal performance is mixed. If you want to know more about the behavior, refer to UG900 or the Logic Simulation User Guide. You can set the Verilog include file and generics and/or parameters through Simulation Setting GUI. You can have Vivado generate simulation scripts for later use, and you'll get separate do files for each step. Finally, you'll have to change the setting to point to the correct modelsim.ini file. Failing to do this may cause simulation failures. Before we run simulation, let's quickly examine the simulation settings window. First, we'll set the device target simulator to Questa Sim or Model Sim Simulator. This selection enables simulator-specific settings in Compilation, Elaboration, and Simulation tab. Now, select Simulator Language option. For this demo, I will choose Mixed, since I have a mixed language license. Note that choosing VHDL or Verilog might cause simulation slowdown depending on the Xilinx IP used in your design. If you want Vivado to generate just the scripts to run simulation in Questa Sim for the project, then you can check the Generate Scripts Only option. This option is sticky, so if clicking on Run Simulation does not launch the simulator, then there's a good chance this option is checked. Now point to the location of modelsim.ini file generated by compile symlib using the compile library location option. You can also pass the Verilog header file search location, or Verilog defines, to the Vivado flows by clicking on the Verilog options button in the Compile tab. Finally, if you have any additional options that you may want to specify to vlog, vcom, vopt, or vsim command, then you can use the more options to do the same. Simulation flow uses the three-step process: compile, elaborate, and simulate. Vlog or vcom for compile, vopt for elaborate, and vsim to simulate. Vivado creates separate scripts for each flow so that users can take the compile and/or elaborate the script to their custom environment. The tickle command used to generate the script and launch the simulation is called launch simulation. and you could learn more about the command in UG835, the Tickle Command Reference Guide. Finally, if you want to generate a script for an IP in a project, then you use launch simulation to do so using the -of-objects command. Now that we have compiled the libraries and set up the simulator through simulation settings, let's run a quick simulation. I've opened a 10 gig Ethernet MAC example design and clicked on Run Simulation. Vivado will inform you of every step of the simulation process through the Run Simulation progress bar. Once the compile and elaborate completes with no error, Questa Sim GUI will be launched. Running simulation from GUI is extremely easy once you set up the tools and compile the libraries. To summarize the simulation flow, we first have to make sure we are using the right version of the simulator, and this information can be found in the Vivado release notes, User Guide 973. Second, we have to compile the simulation libraries. And third, we set up and verify simulation settings for the project. And of course, all these are documented in Logic Simulator User Guide UG900. Thank you for watching this Vivado quick take on how to simulate Mentor Questa Simulator in Vivado.